Could you sleep in the same room as your boss? Most people don't know that prior to the 19th century, the majority of domestic servants did not have their own bed, let alone their own room. So today we're going to talk about the weird and awful places that servants slept in early modern England. Hi, my name is Bose. I have an MA in early modern English history, and on this channel we talk about history you don't learn about in school. Place number 1, the floor. Households who employed a lot of servants but were not necessarily at the top of the social scale often required their servants to sleep on the floor because of the limited household space. This was particularly prevalent among farmers, particularly in the 17th and 16th centuries, who would have employed domestic servants as well as husbandry servants to live in, which would mean household space and therefore sleeping space would have been limited. Another common place that servants slept was near their station of work. Kitchen maids and scullery maids would often have been expected to sleep on the floors in the kitchens. However, this would have had the added bonus of probably being the warmest room in the house in the winter months for them to sleep in. Sleeping place number 2, the shelf. While the kitchen might have been nice and warm, especially in the winter months, it did have one major drawback. It was where the rats and mice would have been attracted to. As a result, many maidservants took to sleeping on kitchen tables or kitchen shelves to avoid the vermin crawling over them and biting them in their sleep. This is where we get the common English expression, left on the shelf, from, which refers to a single woman who is not married. Servant sleeping place number 3, in front of doors. Servants sleeping in front of doors was both weird and practical and was often practiced in towns and cities where rates of burglary and home invasion were high. Employers often made male servants sleep in front of doorways and underneath windowsills, so that if anyone broke into the house, they would step onto the servant and wake them. The servant could then detain them and raise the alarm of the household burglary. Strange servant sleeping place number 4, the employer's bedroom. Some servants had to sleep in their employer's bedroom, and this would have happened more often than you thought. Servants who had to address their masters dressing and getting ready in the morning, as well as those who lived in households that lacked space, or who had elderly masters or mistresses, or just sick masters who needed nursing in the night, would likely have been made to sleep in their employer's bedroom. These servants likely would have been given a trundle bed, which would have rolled out from beneath their master's or mistress's bed, allowing them to sleep beside them in the night. The practice of servants sleeping in their employer's bedroom does fall dramatically in the 18th century in the wealthiest classes in England, and this is largely due to the rise of the polite society ideology, which placed a newfound emphasis on privacy. Servant sleeping place number 5, sharing a bed. Some households did give their servants beds. However, they often had to share these beds with other servants or possibly household lodgers. It would not have been uncommon for a servant to expect to share a bed with 3 other people. This would have meant that there would be 4 people in a small early modern bed. Depending on the household size and reputability, it was not uncommon for male and female servants to share the same bed either, which, as you can probably imagine, would have led to a whole host of problems. Some servants did get their own beds, but these were usually upper servants in the wealthiest households. For example, stewards would have expected to have their own bed. And by the late 18th century, some stewards probably would have expected to have their own set of rooms as well, especially if they were working for a very wealthy gentleman. However, for the rest of the servants in the country, none of these sleeping options sound particularly appealing. If you were an early modern servant, which sleeping option would you choose? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you found this interesting, and make sure you come back next week for some more really random, really interesting history.